Welcome to the Crimson Corner. Jeremiah Jensen joined by Josh Furlong from KSL.com. Another win to talk about for the Utes. We'll break down the victory of the Aggies and also show you what happened around the Pac-12. But we have to begin with a story that's much bigger than sports. The Utah football team experienced a roller coaster of emotions this weekend. Excitement of a win over Utah State quickly replaced with shock and concern for two teammates. Sophomore offensive lineman Lo Falamaka and freshman running back Marcel Brooks Brown continue to recover after being shot at a party near campus late Saturday night. Brooks Brown is out of the hospital and should return to action soon. Falamaka still hospitalized. Police are still searching for those responsible for the shooting. While the Utes prepare for Fresno State Saturday, they're relieved to learn their teammates will be okay.
Bottom line there is we're very, very fortunate and blessed that they're both okay. And could have been a lot worse.
The main thing is that they're safe and that they'll be returning to us.
I grew up down south, so a lot of people don't really, when you hear somebody get shot, you hear somebody really, the next day might be the funeral. So, when I heard that, I just thought the worst. So when I found out that them guy was okay, it really took a relief off my heart.
A lot of relief on the Utah campus this week. I mentioned Brooks Brown is out of the hospital. He tweeted this after his release. "I'm not going to lie, going through everything that I went through has put me in a completely different mindset. We don't all get second chances. Appreciate the life that you have." Let's talk about this a little bit, Josh. I mean, what a shocking news, especially coming off the win. Everything seemed great for the program, and then this. What was the feeling? What was the mood among the players that you talked to this week?
I think they were optimistic, especially considering the nature of the wounds for these players. Obviously, it could have been much worse. You could have had a much different situation. It definitely overshadowed the Fresno State game. People were more focused on the health of their players than worrying about a football game this Saturday. But it's good. I mean, it's good that these players are okay. They'll be able to join the team eventually. Lo a little later than Marcel, but it's good to see these players kind of come together, band together as a brotherhood, and be able to have something to kind of root for as a team.
Did Coach Whittingham have a message for the team? Did he address this at all? What did he tell his players about this?
I think it's something that he preaches this kind of stuff all the time. He talks about being in safe situations and kind of recognizing who you are and what you need to do. So for him, it was just kind of business as usual in that sense. Obviously, he wanted to reemphasize that. He wanted to make sure that these players are making the wise decisions. And unfortunately, in this situation, they weren't necessarily making bad decisions from what we've heard. They were in the right place. They just, unfortunately, wrong place, the wrong time in that instance. So.
Well, fortunately, relief for all of them that everything's going to be okay. And wow, what a week for the Utes. Let's turn our attention back to the field. The latest chapter of the Battle of Brothers played out Friday night in front of a sold-out crowd. The Utah defense stepped up in the fourth quarter to clinch victory, but it was a victory that came with a price.
Welcome to beautiful Rice-Eccles Stadium on a Friday night in early September. It's week number 2 of the college football season, and for the 112th time in their storied history, Utah and Utah State will match up tonight.
Wilson passing again toward the end zone, and incomplete. That could be an illegal hit toward the helmet.
I think it probably looked worse than it was, but I'm okay. You never really know until the next morning. So ask me that tomorrow morning and I'll tell you. We'll see.
Wilson gives it to Booker. Nope, he keeps it straight ahead. Bounces to the outside, to the 5, to the pylon. That's a touchdown. Touchdown, Travis Wilson. What a great read on the option. Keaton steps up, scrambles away from the pressure to the outside, looking down the field, throwing down the field, and it's intercepted. Marcus Williams.
And a flag comes in. Keaton is hurt. My goodness, and that is not what anybody wants to see. He took a hit.
I took a hit. I'm good. It's a game of football. As long as I'm still saying I got a heartbeat, I'm going to play.
Keaton now delivers the long ball this side for Robinson, who jumps and makes the catch. Did he pull it in? Yes. They say he got his feet down to the 21. He had to look back over his shoulder. Gets it. Keaton looks to the right. Throws it open over the top. Touchdown, Utah State.
Chucky Keaton can hardly even make it to the end zone to celebrate. He's still limping. But
it's conceded. He can't even walk after every other hit, and he gets up and he battles. He's a warrior in every sense of the word. But I love that kid. I'll go to the end with that kid.
Speed option, right-hand side. Travis cuts it back inside. 40, 35, on his feet, 30, 20, 15, 10, and 9. knocked down at the Aggies 7-yard line. We'll see what happens. Kendall Thompson walking out on the field right now. Travis Wilson laying on his back at the 3-yard line.
You know, we got a great quarterback in Kendall too, so I was like, okay, next guy picks up the rifle.
You can't sit there and cry and whine about losing a quarterback. You just next guy up, and there you go.
Thompson, outside Booker. He's got the 5. He's got the end zone. It's a touchdown.
Snap. Chucky waits, throws it out to the right side, and a catch made by the Aggies. Flag down on the play. It's a touchdown for Utah State.
Booker and Thompson in the gun. They'll option it. Thompson keeps on the edge, walks it into the end zone for a Utah touchdown. 2 yards for Thompson, and the Utes lead it with 6:35 to play here in the third.
You know, I honestly didn't know how it would feel, you know, taking hits and things like that. So, you know, but, you know, right when I got back out there, everything felt natural again.
I wasn't calling any fair catches.
Covey back to receive the punt. And again, no fair catch signal. Covey wants to return, and he gets away. Covey at the 35 to the 40. The true freshman.
Tremendous. Can't say enough good things about Britton Covey and what he's brought to our football team. He's going to be a weapon for us.
I don't think there's any question. It's the best Utah team I've seen. They're going to win a lot of games in the Pac-12.
Keaton backs up in the shotgun hunt next to him.
The play of the game was the strip sack by Pita Tamwai-Panu.
Keaton rolls to his right, pressure off the edge, he's hit! The ball's out! The ball's out! Utah's got it! Utah's got it at the 25-yard line! Pressure coming, throws, juggled, intercepted! Intercepted! It's intercepted! Gianni Paul with the interception.
Make no mistake about it. That's not Utah State football. We won't ever settle for something less than a win. This program didn't come down here to play good. This program didn't come down here to show improvement over game one. We came down here to win a dadgum ball game. Came up short. I give Utah credit.
Thought Utah State played hard. I think Coach Wells does a phenomenal job with those guys. They're well coached, they're tough, they're disciplined, and they certainly have all our respect.
Now, Utah State's going to go on and win a lot of daggum ball games this year. That's a good football team. Well, each week on Sports Beat Sunday, Hans Olsen and former Ute Christian Cox break down each Utah football game. This week, they take a look at the biggest surprise for the Utes this season.
Go into half, it's 14-14. You've lost Wilson, you've lost Dimmick, and you've got to find a spark. Christian, what did Utah do, in your opinion, that really started to catch that spark?
You know, and the first drive out the gate with Kendall Thompson, he has the experience. He won some games on the road against UCLA. And this play in particular, it was 2nd and 7. This play to Britton Covey kind of sets the tone for, hey, we're going to keep fighting. We're going to make this game legitimate, and we're going to come out and score. Utah State gets caught up in this zone read. He plays Devontae Booker too hard. This is the first time I've seen the throwing option. And has Britton Covey wide open in space. He makes the plays. He's the playmaker, and that's what you get out of that play.
You know, you look at who they go to get a little spark. They go to Britton Covey. They go to the freshman to get a little bit of spark, and I think that's spectacular. That says a lot about what they think of Britton Covey. You need a spark. You got a new quarterback. You're losing some personnel. Go to Britton Covey.
Britton Covey had a great game, and so did this guy. For the second straight week, a Ute is named Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Week. This time, it's senior linebacker Gianni Paul who claims the honor. He intercepted a pass, recovered a fumble, and made 7 tackles in the Utes' win over Utah State. All right, Josh, let's go back to that game. I was at the post-game press conference. I believe you were as well. And they just won a big game against Utah State, but there was just not this feeling of celebration, especially with Coach Whittingham. Why was he so frustrated or disappointed with the Utes after that game?
Well, I think, you know, for anybody that watched that game, it was a very frustrating game to watch. It's a rivalry game. There's a lot of emotion involved. There was a lot of injuries on both sides of the team. So you're seeing a lot of people that were excited about the win, but Whittingham knows that they didn't play their best football. You know, they did enough and they were able to compete against Utah State, and it really wasn't in question in their eyes. But at the same time, there wasn't enough effort. There's not enough things. The offensive line needs to improve. The defense, you know, for the first half, you didn't even show up. It wasn't until the second half that you decided to shut out the Aggies. So I think there's a lot to work on, but it's encouraging for Utah at least that they have the progress and the time to be able to make these things done. And
Gianni Paul's honor, you know, no late hits this week, so he certainly improved there, but the rest of his game was already there. He's off to a great start, isn't he? Absolutely. I mean, Gianni Paul, he comes in this season, he's healthy, he's ready to be able to play. You know, he's that guy that every single team needs to be able to just have that firepower. You know, he may create some boneheaded plays at times because he's just so passionate about the game,
but he's going to do everything that he can to make that team successful and to win.
He's the emotional leader
Absolutely.
of that football team. Now the Utes turn their focus to Fresno State. The Bulldogs, a team that was crushed on the road against Ole Miss 73-21. But Fresno's a much different team at home historically, and this will be the Utes' first road test of the season.
Got Fresno State coming up. Road trip, first road game of the year, so it'll be the first road game for a lot of our players. And we've got to be able to handle that the right way. If you want to be a good football team, you got to play well on the road.
We've been executing, but I think we can do it at a higher level, and I think this is the week that we need to go out there and kind of get things rolling, you know, going into conference play.
We go out, we prepare for Fresno like we prepare for any other team, and we don't play our game, and we don't go and handle business.
All right, Josh, on paper, the Utes should win this game easily, but there's the quarterback situation. Travis Wilson probably out. We don't know for sure. They don't talk about injuries. Are we going to see Kendall Thompson? Are we going to see Chase Hansen? What's the quarterback situation? What do you expect to happen on Saturday?
I think if they really wanted to, they could probably force Travis Wilson to play this Saturday. I don't think they need to, nor do I think they will. I think you're going to see Kendall Thompson start the game. You're going to see Chase Hansen intermixed in there at times. Honestly, though, you could play your fifth-string quarterback in this, who's also still a great guy, you know, either Connor Manning or Brandon Cox, and you'd likely still win this game. You know, Fresno State is not a great team. I think they're even worse maybe than they were last year. And Utah beat them soundly. So I think, you know, the quarterback battle is obviously going to be one of the bigger things. You want to see how well they do, but I don't think it really matters at this point. I think Utah's going to do really well, obviously shake off those road jitters before they have to face a very difficult team in Oregon the week after.
Is this the week the run game finally gets going? And Booker's been terrific, but it's taken 30 carries to get to 100. Does it really open up this week?
If it doesn't, when is it going to? I mean, It's not going to get any better. I mean, Oregon doesn't have a fantastic defense, but it's not going to get any better there. I think you're going to see a much improved offensive line this week, being able to give Booker those holes, being able to allow him some creases, as Whittingham calls it, to be able to kind of extend those yards. Booker is so close. He's always one shoestring tackle away from breaking it apart. So if his offensive line could help him a little bit this week, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he could rush up to 200 yards and a half. I mean, I think that defense on Fresno State is not that great.
We'll see if the Utes can really handle this Fresno team. Josh, thanks so much. Each week on Crimson Corner, we like to end the show by paying tribute to the legends of the past. This week, we honor the many running backs in Utah history who left their mark on the program.
He's to the 40. It's a foot race. He could take it all the way. Well, we've just discovered another great running back for Utah. They've had so many of them. Jamal Anderson, Mike Anderson, Marty Johnson, and now Warfield, who just went 50 yards.
cutting up the middle into the end zone. Touchdown, Utah. Williams does the cartwheel.
Down goal from the 4. Jamal, the pitch. Touchdown, Utah.
For Utah on a 7-7 tie. Inside handoff. Here comes Anderson to the 40.
McCoy on second down. Little sling pass. Touchdown, Utah.
Maʻafala up the middle. Little stutter step delay. He bought himself some time, and Maʻafala could go.
Slices it back across the middle. Beck, the only man with an angle, can't catch him this time.
34-yard touchdown, Mike Anderson.
Inside pitch nearly picked off. They said Gaither is still running. At the 20. One man to beat. Gaither able to squeak it across the goal line for a touchdown.
Darrell Mack, determination. Mack reaching for the goal line. Touchdown!
From the 2. Asiata. Touchdown.
White with the turbo kicking in. White breaking ankles. Boy, he's got enough to feed the needy. Candy for everybody.
Utah wins it. Utah wins the Sun Bowl. An 8-yard touchdown run by the Wolfman.
Booker is the running back for the Utes.
Big hole in the middle. Breaks free.
End zone. Touchdown, Utah.
Booker, hello. It's wide open again. Touchdown. He's not needed. Utah runs its way to another Pac-12 victory.